Why do some people achieve their goals while others give up after only a few days? The answer lies not in luck, talent, or even temporary motivation. The true secret lies in consistency, that ability to commit to the work every day, no matter how you feel, regardless of your mood, and irrespective of the circumstances surrounding you. It is the silent, unseen force of getting up and continuing day after day. Not when it's enjoyable, not when the path is comfortable, but precisely at the moment when your body and mind scream, "Not today." And yet, you take action. But let's be realistic. Maintaining consistency is not easy. The mind naturally tends towards comfort. Motivation fluctuates from day to day, and excuses are always ready to halt your progress. Therefore, you need to train yourself to work consistently even when you don't feel like it, even when everything seems difficult, and even when you feel exhausted or bored. In this summary of the book, force yourself to be consistent. You will learn practical strategies to overcome excuses, defeat procrastination, and reinforce the self-discipline that keeps you steadfast on the path to achieving your goals. Chapter 1. Why consistency is important. Have you ever wondered why some people always succeed in life? Those who excel in every exam, advance rapidly in their careers, and maintain their health and physical fitness? The secret isn't innate talent, money, or luck, it's consistency. The author says, consistency is more powerful than strength, meaning consistent, repeated effort is far better than a single massive effort. Let's take a real-world example. A person who goes to the gym for one day and works out for 3 hours, then doesn't go for the rest of the week, versus another person who goes daily for just 30 minutes. After a month, who do you think will have better fitness? Of course, the person who is consistent daily. Let's take another, clearer example. Imagine someone who reads 30 pages of a book in just one day and then stops for the rest of the week, versus another person who reads 5 pages daily and regularly. It might seem simple and unimportant at first, but after a full year, the consistent reader will have finished 3,600 pages, equivalent to about 12 full books. Imagine the amount of knowledge they will gain, how their thinking will change, their skills develop, and their horizons broaden. This is the power of consistency. Consistency applies to all areas of life: studies, business, learning skills, or building mental strength. Every small daily step makes a big difference. If you rely on sporadic efforts, you will not achieve the results. To realize your dreams, you need small, continuous actions. Professional players train daily. Successful writers write daily. Business leaders develop themselves daily. Here, consistency is not just a habit, it's a lifestyle. Every small daily step brings you closer to your goal. The question isn't what you can do in one day, but how much progress you can make with a small step daily. Many people think their biggest enemy is circumstances, time, luck, or resources. But the real enemy is our mind. The author clarifies that the mind operates according to habit. If you force yourself repeatedly to do something, it gradually becomes easier. In the beginning, you will face resistance. Not now, later. I don't feel like it. These are just excuses. But once you overcome these excuses and accomplish a small task, you send a clear message to your mind. We do not procrastinate. For example, exercising in the morning. The first day is hard. The second day is harder. But even 5 minutes of exercise is enough to teach the mind that this is necessary. Continuous repetition turns this behavior into a habit and gradually reprograms the mind. To truly change your life, you must teach your brain that work is a fixed rule, not an option, and that regularly placing yourself in a zone of discomfort is the shortest path to achieving the change you dream of. Chapter 2. The Power of Tiny Habits. When we think about starting a new change or a new habit, we often set huge goals like, I will study for 2 hours daily, I will run 5 kilometers every morning, or I will work 4 extra hours every day. But what happens? The first day, we are motivated. The second day, enthusiasm wanes. The third day, we don't feel like it. And by the fourth day, we stop completely. This is the mistake most people make. They start change in a way that is too difficult for their capacity. The author says, for consistency to come, The start must be just 1% each day. This is called tiny habits. Tiny habits mean taking a step so small that it's hard to postpone. For example, reading a book for just 10 minutes daily, learning a new skill for 10 minutes daily, writing one page of your book daily, doing push-ups for 5 minutes every morning. You might wonder, how can such small steps make a difference? Here lies the secret. Small steps create big changes because they're easy to repeat consistently and give you momentum. Imagine a drop of water falling daily onto a stone. Eventually, it penetrates the stone. This is how tiny habits work. They gradually reprogram your mind, behavior, and routine. Every small task you accomplish gives you a daily victory. These small victories are cumulative and increase self-confidence and discipline. With the continuity of tiny habits, these small steps turn into major habits. Reading for 10 minutes gradually turns into 30 minutes. Learning a new skill for 10 minutes daily gradually leads to mastering it completely. Writing one page of your book daily gradually becomes a complete book. Tiny habits are the secret to long-term success because they don't cause psychological and physical exhaustion and increase your self-esteem. If you have two choices, the first is to improve by 1% every day and gradually become a successful person. The second is to decline by 1% every day, and after a year, you find yourself behind where you were. The choice is in your hands today. Think, if you persisted in improving by just 1% daily for 365 days, where would you be this time next year? And if you continued in laziness, where would you be? Your future is not determined by your big decisions, but by your small daily decisions. Therefore, the next time you start a new habit, think big but start small. Chapter 3. Create a routine and stick to it. So far, we have learned that consistency is the backbone of success, that the mind is like a muscle needing daily training, and that small changes yield big results. But there is a common mistake most people make, focusing too much on goals and neglecting systems. Think for a moment. How many people at the start of the new year set a goal like, this year I will become fit, this year I will excel in my studies, or this year I will save money? But what happens after a few weeks? These goals disappear. The gym membership card remains in the drawer. Enthusiasm for studying decreases, and money is spent again on unnecessary things. Why does this happen? Because goals are merely a destination, while the path that leads to them is the system. For example, imagine you set a goal. I want to lose 10 kilograms. This goal in itself will not make you lose weight. What achieves the result? The system, like a daily exercise routine, a healthy eating plan, and the habit of consistency. In other words, the goal is the result, but the system is the process that gets you to that result. Think of the athlete who won the gold medal in the Olympics and the other athlete who withdrew midway. What was the goal for both? To win the gold medal. Yet why did the first succeed and the second fail? Because the difference was in the systems. Who had the better training schedule? Who created the right environment? Who committed to the small daily improvements? He is the one who won. The author says, the goal's most powerful ally is routine. Why? Because routine turns every task from an exhausting decision into an automatic habit. Instead of asking yourself every day, should I exercise today? Should I study now or later? These questions simply cease to exist because your daily schedule decides on your behalf. For example, if your day has no routine, you'll find yourself lost. Sometimes you wake up at 7 a.m., sometimes at 10 a.m. You waste half your day on Instagram or TikTok. Then the day ends with you overwhelmed by frustration because you didn't accomplish what you wanted. But if you commit to a clear routine, you will live your day with focus and an organized structure. For instance, wake up at 5 a.m. for dawn prayer, from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., a full hour for exercise, 2 focus sessions for study or work until 9 a.m. Then in the evening, learn a new skill to develop yourself. Then quiet, deep sleep at 10 p.m. Then, you become the master of your day. Your day is not your master. Routine gives you order, order gives you focus, and focus generates productivity. But here is the crucial point. Creating a system alone is not enough. What's more important is that you stick to it no matter your mood. Every time you succeed in respecting your system, you send a strong message to your mind saying, I'm a person who does what they say. This feeling boosts your self-confidence and makes others, in turn, see you as a disciplined, reliable person. Always remember, a system is not a constraint that binds you. It is a wing that gives you true freedom. Because without a clear routine, you will drain your energy on small decisions. But with a stable routine, you will maintain your focus, multiply your productivity, and build a new identity for yourself. The identity of an organized, consistent, and effective person. A simple, strong routine is the foundation of consistency, and consistency is the bridge that carries you from an ordinary person to an extraordinary one. Chapter 4. Tracking and Self-Analysis. Have you ever felt as if you were running with all your energy, but the finish line was moving further away instead of getting closer? You work hard, strive, tire yourself out, stay up late, and exert effort, only to discover in the end that you are still standing in the same place you started from. Why does that happen? The answer is clear and simple. We work and tire ourselves, but we don't track our steps or measure them. The author says, everything that can be measured can be improved. Meaning, if you don't record daily what you did, how much you accomplished when you stopped, and when you progressed, your growth will remain just an illusion or unclear guesswork. So what does tracking mean? It means turning your daily life into a clear canvas in front of you, to monitor your small steps and record them continuously. Ask yourself daily, what tasks did I complete? How many hours or minutes did I work with full focus? Which habit did I maintain, and which habit did I abandon or neglect? For example, if your goal is to study for 30 minutes daily, at the end of the day, simply write, today I studied for 25 minutes. Yesterday, I completed a full 30 minutes. The day before yesterday, I didn't study at all. And ask why. With this simplicity, the tracking process begins, but it carries great benefits. The first benefit, motivation and visible progress. When you see a clear record in front of you, on paper or in an app, saying, I have been consistent for 5 days, or I have accomplished 80% of my goal this week, this visual evidence becomes fuel for your enthusiasm. You will feel that you are building your success stone upon stone, and with each day, its height increases. These small successes, even if they seem simple, create an energy inside you that makes you not want to stop. The second benefit, self-analysis. The data you collect about yourself is not just numbers. It is a mirror revealing your truth. You will know when you are most active, in the morning after breakfast or in the evening after dinner. You will discover the reasons behind your periods of weakness. Is it due to lack of sleep, work pressure, or phone addiction? This analysis gives you self-awareness, and whoever knows themselves well can control and develop them, step by step. For example, imagine going to the gym without measuring your weight or the number of exercises you complete. After a month, you won't know if you have actually progressed. But if you recorded every exercise, you would clearly see that yesterday you lifted 5 kilograms and today 7 kilograms. These small details are what build big success stories. Think of your life like your smartphone or your sports watch. The phone tracks your steps, your sleep, and even your spending. Your bank account records every dirham or dollar you spend. Is it conceivable that everything around you tracks you precisely, and you do not track yourself at all? From today, with a simple rule, track, think, improve. Because if you improve yourself by just 1% daily, within 1 year, you'll be 37 times better than you are today. All of this just thanks to tracking and continuous improvement. So, if you want to introduce discipline and consistency into your life, don't look for complex solutions. Start with small steps, with tiny habits, and write everything down. Make tracking a daily habit and analysis a lifestyle. Then you will see how your life changes slowly but surely. Conclusion. Consistency means committing to work daily, regardless of mood or circumstances. A system keeps you going even when you don't feel like it. To achieve this, you need to train your mind to overcome excuses, defeat procrastination, and follow a clear daily routine. The start is always small, with tiny habits like reading for 10 minutes daily or exercising for 5 minutes. These small steps accumulate to become great achievements. Motivation